as the sentiments of men are known not only by what they receive, but what they reject also. I will state the form of the Declaration as originally reported. The parts struck out by Congress shall be distinguished by a black line drawn under them by Thomas Jefferson. The black line, a conceptual idea built into the seams of American culture. Tensions over this imaginary boundary have existed since the birth of the nation and finally erupted in its darkest hour. The Union Civil War victory paved the way to the age of Reconstruction, a period that provided new opportunities for black Americans and took the first steps towards achieving social equality. In a time where African Americans found the power to overcome this boundary, one man stood above them all, Hiram Revels, a symbol of separation from the limits once constricting him.
Hiram Revels was born in Fayetteville, North Carolina as a free man. He attended the Union County Quaker Seminary in Indiana and Darke County Seminary in Ohio. And in 1845, he became a minister in the African Methodist Episcopal Church, also serving as a preacher and religious teacher throughout the Midwest. Not only did he serve as a minister to public institutions, but also served as a chaplain in the United States Army. He helped to recruit and organize 2 black armies during the Civil War and took part in the Battle of Vicksburg in Mississippi.
At this point, you might ask, what did Hiram Revels do after his term in the Senate? After 1 year, he resigned to serve as the president of the newly formed Alcorn Agriculture and Mechanical College, right in the heart of Mississippi, in Claiborne County, near where he earlier fought the Battle of Vicksburg. As a part of the bigger program to help African Americans, the Alcorn College helped to give higher education opportunity to African Americans. Around the same time, there was the Freedmen's Bureau, who gave food, employment opportunity, and shelter to many other newly freed African Americans. Also, Revels continued his close tie to the AME Episcopal Church. He served as minister throughout his late life, aside from being the president of the Alcorn University.
The first step towards achieving equality was included in amendments guaranteeing undeniable rights to African Americans in America's most decorated political document, the Constitution. With the passing of the 13th Amendment, African Americans could no longer be enslaved. With the 14th Amendment, they were guaranteed rights of citizens. And with the 15th Amendment, they were guaranteed the right to vote, leading way to the participation in national politics. And here is where Hiram Revels enters. There is not an inch of standing or sitting room in the galleries. So densely were they packed, and to say that the interest was intense gives but a faint idea of the feeling, which prevailed throughout the entire proceeding. The New York Times, Washington, February 25th. To the dismay of the few white Democrats sitting in the crowd, and to the shock of the entire country, Hiram Revels took his seat in Senate at 4:40 p.m. February 25th, 1870. The vote for Jefferson Davis's previous seat went to Revels with a vote of 48 to 8. The ceremony, although brief, served as a symbolic moment in American history, the first time a black man would be included in the Senate. But Hiram Revels was no ordinary man. From his experience as a minister and preacher, he became an eloquent orator and debater. And while in the Senate, his conduct, along with that of other African Americans who had been seated in the House of Representatives, prompted a white congressman, James G. Blaine, to write in his memoir, 20 Years in Congress. These colored men who took their seats in both the Senate and the House were as a rule studious, earnest, ambitious men whose public conduct would be honorable to any race. That same man, James Blaine, would go on to be a major Republican leader and lead the half-breeds as they moved towards a new age in American history.
During the period of Reconstruction, a time that provided new opportunities for African Americans, Revels seized his chance. He became the first African American in Senate, and in doing so, he permitted larger possibilities for African Americans in politics. His leap toward social equality within politics set the precedent for a young senator from Illinois to run for president in the election of 2008. This man became the 44th President of the United States and the first African American to acquire the prestigious title in America. That man is Barack Obama, whose election in 2008 shows the strides made from the birth of the nation to the Civil War and Reconstruction period to today.